My brother was bleeding in my driveway at 2 a.m. And not just a cut, he left a trail. His shirt was ripped, one eye swollen shut, and when he tried to talk, his lips split open again. I started counting even as I pulled him inside. 28 family dinners where he'd worn long sleeves in July. 47 times he'd bailed at the last minute. I'd bought every excuse, every single one. I didn't ask what happened. I just got him inside. 72 hours later, I was living his life. And his wife never realized she was beating the wrong twin. I should have seen it. The signs were everywhere. That November morning started like all my weekdays: coffee at 6, emails by 6:30, first client at 7. My home office looked out over the city, and honestly, it should have felt like I'd made it. I'm Marcus Chun. I was 36, running my own financial consulting firm from wherever I wanted. My twin brother David called it living the dream. I knew better. I'd built my life so I'd never owe anyone, never have to ask for help. But that morning my phone rang earlier than my alarm. David's name. He never called before 8. Never. Mark. His voice sounded off, wet, choked. Can I come over now? It's not even 6, please. My brother's cried 3 times in his life. Once at 7 when our dog died. Once at 19 after Dad's stroke. Once at his wedding watching Sarah walk down the aisle. This was number 4. I told him to come. Left the door unlocked. Sat in the kitchen, gripping my mug, trying to remember the last time I'd really looked at him. Not just waved in a parking lot or shot off a text. Thanksgiving was next week. Mom was hosting. He said they'd be there. 20 minutes later, a knock. Soft, almost like he was sorry for bothering anyone. I opened the door. There he was. My twin. My mirror. The same face, the same DNA, same childhood. And he looked wrecked. Not hit by a car, wrecked. No, this was careful, systematic. Accidents are messy. This was surgical. His left eye was swollen shut, purple spreading across his cheekbone. Lips split in 2 places. When he moved, I saw him wince and his hand went straight to his ribs. The shirt, Sarah bought it last Christmas, was torn at the collar. His knuckles were bleeding, not from fighting but from covering his face. David. I reached for him. He flinched. From me. What the hell happened? I fell. Automatic. Down the stairs. I'm so clumsy lately, you know how Stop. I pulled him in and locked the door. Stop lying to me right now. He stood in the entryway shaking. Not crying, whole body shaking, like he'd been holding himself together for years and finally let go. I guided him to the couch, grabbed ice from the freezer. When I came back he was staring at his hands. How long? I asked. Mark, I can't. How long? He went quiet. A long time. Then, 3 years. Maybe longer. It got worse after the promotion when I started making more than her. 3 years. 3 years of family dinners, Sarah smiling, holding his hand. 3 years of birthdays, Christmas, barbecues. I thought he was happy. I was too busy, too self-absorbed, too blind. Sarah did this. I didn't ask. I knew the moment I saw him. She'll kill me if I tell anyone, he said. Just the truth. No drama. Last night I suggested we have dinner with you this weekend. Just suggested it. She said I was turning the family against her, probably talking shit about her to everyone. Then she grabbed the lamp, he gestured at his face. I sat there, bag of frozen peas in my hands, looking at my brother. We were born 4 minutes apart. He was always first. Braver. Stronger. At least I thought so. David was the one who asked girls to dance while I stuttered. David made varsity everything. I hit the books. He was the golden child, Mom's favorite, the one she bragged about. And while I was building my careful life, my brother was being destroyed. Not slowly, systematically. You're staying here, I told him. Pressed the ice to his eye. He winced but didn't pull away this time. You're not going back there. I can't just leave. Mark, you don't understand. She's got lawyers in her family. Her uncle's a judge. If I try to leave, she'll ruin me. She said it. She's got recordings of me yelling, photos from when I shoved her away. She's been setting this up for months. Laying out this story where I'm the monster, the abusive husband. And then she says, we'll get better lawyers. With what money? She's got it all. She made me put the house in her name, claimed it was for taxes. My paycheck? Straight to our joint account. She watches every transaction. She knows when I buy a coffee, Mark. She knows everything. If I leave, I lose the house I'm still paying for. She'll file for a protection order, show her evidence. Suddenly I'm the villain. The guy who hit his wife. Nobody believes men like me. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say he was wrong. But he wasn't. I'd seen the stats. Read the stories. Male victims of domestic violence, People laugh at them. Tell them to man up. The system isn't made for guys like my brother. It's made to chew them up. Let me see, I said, motioning at his ribs. He hesitated, then pulled up his shirt. I actually gasped. Couldn't help it. His torso was a mess, bruises everywhere. Yellow, green, purple blotches, black patches. Ribs probably cracked, maybe broken. Cigarette burns too. Small, round, deliberate, low on his back where no one would see them if he kept his shirt on. She likes to leave marks where they won't show, he whispered. She's smart. Always has been. That's what I loved about her once. His laugh was raw and jagged. The lamp last night was a mistake. She aimed for my shoulder. I turned. She panicked when she saw my face, started crying, saying she was sorry that I made her do it. Then she locked herself in the bedroom. That's when I left. I took photos. Every bruise, every burn, every mark. David sat shirtless in my living room while I documented everything Sarah had done to him. When I finished, he pulled his shirt back on, slow and careful, like he was afraid of breaking something else. Everything he did now was careful. Even breathing. I need to go back. He checked his phone. She's called 18 times. If I don't answer soon, she'll call my office. Tell them I'm having a breakdown. She's done it before. You're not going back. I waited until he looked at me. Face to face. We're identical except for what Sarah did to him. When we were kids, you jumped in front of that car for me. Remember? I ran into the street after a ball and you grabbed me. Broke your arm. Saved my life. You've always protected me. Let me protect you now. How? He asked, voice breaking. She's got everything planned. That's when the idea hit. Insane, reckless, maybe it would save him, maybe it would ruin us both. But looking at him, at the shell of my brother, I knew it was the only choice. We switched places. He stared at me. What? We're identical. No one's ever been able to tell us apart. Even Mom used to check for the birthmarks. We switch. I go live your life. You stay here, rest. While I'm being you, I document everything. Real evidence. Video, audio, proof that she's the abuser. You're crazy. She'll know. Will she? When's the last time she actually saw you? Really looked at you, not just as a target? He didn't answer. Couldn't. I know your life. We've been talking since we learned how. I know your job, your routine, where you keep the coffee mugs. Anything I don't know, you'll tell me. Brief me. Like a mission. This isn't a game, Mark. She's dangerous. I know. That's why it has to be me. You can't take more. And if I'm in there, we can get the proof to end this. For real. Evidence so clear, even her judge uncle can't twist it. Evidence that saves you. We sat there in silence as the morning light crept across my living room. Outside, people were heading to work, living normal lives, worrying about normal things. Inside, two brothers were planning something out of a movie. Except this was real. The bruises were real. The fear in David's eyes was real. And so was the determination burning in my chest. How long? David finally asked. 2 weeks. Maybe less. Long enough to catch her at it more than once. Show it's not a fluke. What if she hurts you? Then we'll have it on camera. That's the point. I squeezed his shoulder. David, you saved my life when we were 6. Let me do the same for you. He closed his eyes. When he opened them, something new was there. Not hope, not yet, but maybe the start of it. Okay. But we do this smart. We plan everything. So we did. The next 48 hours, David told me everything. Not just the schedules and passwords. The little things. How Sarah takes her coffee. The way she taps her nails on the counter when she's angry. The shift in her voice right before she hurts him. Where she keeps the keys, the documents, the files she uses to keep him trapped. He showed me the joint bank account she watches like a hawk. The credit card she maxed out in his name. The debt hit him out of nowhere. He had no clue until the collectors started blowing up his phone. She's been stealing from you? I scrolled through the bank statements, feeling sick. Stealing's a stretch, she'd say. In her eyes, everything I own is hers anyway. My job, my paycheck, my entire life. She's just taking what she deserves. I wanted to punch a wall, maybe drive straight to their house and drag Sarah out by her hair. But that wouldn't fix any of it. Wouldn't change what she'd done. So I remembered every detail. I became David. Practiced his walk. He limps a little, favoring his right because his left ribs still ache. His voice, softer now, always apologizing, ready to serve. The way he checks his phone every 2 minutes, terrified he'll miss her texts. You flinch when someone raises a hand near you, I said on day 2. Do I? He hadn't noticed. She throws things. I learned to keep my eyes on her hands. On day 3 we just looked at each other. Twins, same face, but I was whole and he was wrecked. I put on his clothes, the ones he'd stuffed into a bag on his way out. His watch, his wedding ring. Both felt heavy, wrong. David grabbed my arm before I left. If it gets bad, really bad, you get out. Promise me. I promised. But I wasn't leaving until we had what we needed. The drive to David's place took 20 minutes. I knew every turn. I'd been there for dinners, birthdays, lazy afternoons. I never guessed what happened after everyone went home. The house I envied was a cage. Nice place too, colonial, perfect lawn, a neighborhood where people actually wave. Sarah's car sat in the driveway. My palms were slick on the wheel. I had recorders in my pockets, cameras disguised as pens and buttons, my phone set to record. If I pulled this off, David would walk free in 2 weeks. If I screwed up, Sarah might kill me. She wouldn't even know it wasn't David until it was over. Until I'd gotten what we needed. I unlocked the door with David's keys and stepped inside. The house smelled like vanilla candles and coffee. Just normal. Too normal. Like it belonged in a magazine, like nothing bad could ever happen there. David? Sarah's voice floated down from upstairs. Yeah, I called back, trying to nail David's voice. Quieter. Careful. It's me. Where the hell have you been? She appeared at the top of the stairs, my brother's wife. I used to think she was beautiful. Tall, blonde, sharp features. Now all I saw was the sharp. Everything about her looked dangerous. I've been calling for 2 days. 2 days, David. I thought you were dead. I needed some time. After, I gestured to my face, still bruised. After you tripped and fell, you mean? After your clumsiness scared me so much I couldn't sleep. I've been worried sick. Right. Sorry. I stayed at a motel. Just needed to think. Think about what? She was right in front of me now, close enough to hit. Her eyes searched my face, but she saw what she expected. Her husband. Her victim. Think about how you're going to apologize. How you're going to make this up to me. Every instinct told me to fight back, to call her out. To name her for what she was, the one who broke my brother. But I was David now. David survived by surrendering. So I looked down. Made myself small. Gave her the target she wanted. I'm sorry, I said. You're right. I shouldn't have left. No, you shouldn't have. She grabbed my chin, forced my head up. Her nails pressed into my skin. Not enough to hurt, just enough to remind me she could. Don't ever scare me like that again. I love you. You know that, right? Everything I do is because I love you. I know. Good. She let go and smiled. Just like that, predator to perfect wife in a split second. I made coffee, your favorite, and I thought we could talk about Thanksgiving. Your mother called. I told her we'd be there. Like the last 2 days never happened. Like my face wasn't still bruised. Like this was just life. I followed her to the kitchen, watched the way she moved, ruled the space. The coffee was exactly how David liked it. She knew everything, his preferences, his habits, his soft spots. She studied him the way you'd study an enemy. Because that's what he was. Not a partner. A target. I was thinking, she said, leaning against the counter, maybe we should look at new cars. That BMW you wanted. We can afford it now with your raise. The raise we agreed to save. Agreed. Her voice changed just a bit. Or agreed that you do what I tell you because I handle the money. She smiled, but her eyes were ice cold. You're so bad with money, baby. You know that. She almost sounded sweet. It's cute that you try, but let me handle it. That's what wives do. She was gaslighting him, so effortlessly, it felt like breathing to her. Making him doubt himself, question his own memory, his grip on reality. I wanted to record all of it. Actually, the pen in my pocket caught every word. Still, I needed more. I needed her real face, the proof of violence. That first day she played careful. Almost gentle. Testing me, watching to see if I'd come back beaten down enough. We ate dinner together, watched TV. She laughed at the sitcom, touched my arm now and then. On the outside she was the perfect wife. But I saw the way she looked at me, like a scientist running an experiment, waiting for me to fail some secret test so she could justify hurting me again. At night, lying beside her, I didn't sleep. Couldn't. Every time she moved, my body tensed, ready. The cameras kept rolling. Audio caught everything. I just needed her to show who she really was. Day 2, she started pushing boundaries. Little things at first. She asked me to cancel lunch with a coworker. Questioned why I needed to go to the gym. Checked my phone while I showered. When I came out, she was scrolling through my messages. Who's Tom? She asked, holding up my phone. David's phone. Guy from work. We grab lunch sometimes. She just hummed and set the phone down. Maybe you should eat lunch with me instead. I get lonely. You're gone so much. I have to work, I said. Do you? She stepped closer. Or do you just want to get away from me? Is that it, David? Am I not good enough for you? That's not what I said. It's what you meant. Her voice got sharp. Everything I do for you, this house, this life, and you want to run off with Tom. Are you fucking him? What? No. He's a coworker. You're lying. She shoved me hard right in the chest where I knew David's ribs were already bruised. I staggered, caught myself on the door frame. The camera button on my shirt kept recording. You're always lying to me. Sneaking around, making me look stupid. Sarah, I'm not. Shut up. She grabbed a picture frame from the dresser, our wedding photo, and threw it. I dodged. Glass shattered against the wall. Get out. Get out of my sight before I do something we'll both regret. I left. Went to the guest room, shut the door, checked the footage. It was all there, her shoving me, throwing things. Every word, every threat, clear as day. This was only day 2. 12 more to go. A pattern showed itself. Sarah needed control. All of it. Any sign David had his own life, friends, independence, it threatened her. And she crushed threats. Sometimes with words, sometimes with fists, always with this reminder. She was in charge and he was nothing without her. Day 4 she hit me for the first time. We were making dinner. I offered to cut the vegetables. She insisted on doing it herself. I tried to help anyway. She grabbed my wrist, yanked me away from the counter and slapped me across the face. Open palm. The sound echoed sharp. When I say I'll do something, I do it. I don't need your help. I don't need you questioning me. The camera in my shirt pocket caught everything, the slap, her face. She wasn't angry or wild. She was calm. In control. This was how she kept order, with fear. My cheek burned. I touched it, looked at her and understood. This wasn't about anger. It was about power. She hit him because she could. Because it made her feel strong every time he flinched. Sorry, I muttered, hating myself, hating that David had said it 100 times before. You're right. I know I am. She went back to chopping vegetables, humming. Order restored. Set the table, baby. Dinner's ready in 15. Day 7. She came home already angry, something about her boss criticizing a project. So she took it out on me. She picked apart everything, the way I loaded the dishwasher, the show I watched, the sound of my breathing. It always escalated. She threw her keys at me, hit my shoulder. Called me useless, stupid. Told me I was lucky she stayed. Said no one else would want someone so pathetic. You're just like your father. Weak. Ineffectual. At least he had the sense to die and stop embarrassing everyone. She knew about my father. Knew how the stroke destroyed him, knew David watched him disappear, knew it was his deepest wound. She used it as a weapon. I recorded every word. By day 9 she didn't hold back. I made the mistake of suggesting marriage counseling. Just mentioned it soft the way David would. She snapped. Grabbed a frying pan off the stove and swung it at my head. I ducked and the pan slammed into the cabinet behind me, leaving a dent. She didn't stop, swung again, this time catching my shoulder. Pain shot down my arm so fast I almost dropped. Every second of it caught on camera. Her face twisted with pure rage, the pan, the hit, everything. You think we need counseling? You think there's something wrong with our marriage? No, there's something wrong with you. You've always been the problem, she said. Then she hit me again. This time the frying pan smashed right into my ribs, the same ribs David warned me about. I felt something crack. Hit the floor. Couldn't help it. The pain was blinding. She stood over me, breathing hard, still gripping the pan. Get up. When I didn't move fast enough, she kicked me in the stomach. I said, get up. Stop being so dramatic. It barely touched you. So I got up. Every breath hurt. I knew something was broken. I recorded her threatening me. I recorded her forcing me to apologize for making her hit me. I recorded her crying afterward, saying she didn't know what came over her, that I made her crazy sometimes. I recorded the whole cycle. The violence, the apology, the promise it wouldn't happen again, and the threat that next time would be worse if I told anyone. That night I sent all the footage to David. Uploaded it to a cloud account Sarah didn't know about. If something happened to me, if she actually killed me thinking I was David, at least there'd be proof. At least she wouldn't get away with it. Get out. David texted back right away. That's enough. You've got what we need. Get out now. 3 more days, I replied. We need a pattern. Multiple incidents. Mark, she's going to kill you. She won't. And if she tries, it'll be on camera. Trust me. Day 11. Thanksgiving was tomorrow. We were supposed to go to Mom's house. Sarah never wanted to go. She didn't like my family even though she never said it straight out. Always made excuses every year. But this year Mom insisted. So Sarah was angry. She took it out on me all day, criticizing everything, getting herself worked up. I saw it coming. Her jaw clenched, her hands balled into fists, her nails tapped the counter. All the signs David taught me to watch for. Your mother called again. Sarah was making coffee, slamming things around. She's so needy. Honestly, David, your whole family is exhausting. Especially Marcus. The way he looks at me like he's judging me. Mark doesn't judge you. He thinks he's better than me, better than us, with his fancy business and his freedom. No responsibilities. Must be nice. She turned to face me. Why aren't you more like him? What do you mean? Successful. Independent. Marcus doesn't need anyone. But you need me for everything. It's pathetic. I couldn't help it. After 11 days of this, after everything she'd done to my brother, after the bruises and the broken rib and the constant humiliation, something inside me broke, but not into violence. Into something clear. You're right, I said, calm as I could. Mark doesn't need anyone because he doesn't let people abuse him. Sarah froze. Coffee pot in her hand, halfway through pouring. What did you just say? I said he doesn't let people abuse him. The way you abuse me. The way you've been abusing me for 3 years. I don't abuse you. Her voice went quiet, dangerous. I love you. Everything I do is out of love. Love doesn't leave bruises. Love doesn't break ribs. Love doesn't. I lifted my shirt, showed her the bruises from the frying pan. The cigarette burns still healing. Love doesn't do this. You're twisting things. You're trying to make me the bad guy. I'm not. She was spiraling. I could see it. The careful story where she was the victim was falling apart. You made me do those things. You pushed me. I never touched you. Not once. Not in violence, not in anger. I've taken everything you've thrown at me literally. But I'm done. We're done. She threw the coffee pot. Hot coffee and glass exploded against the wall where my head had just been. I moved on instinct. The cameras caught all of it, her throwing, me dodging, the wall behind me dripping coffee and blood from where glass cut my arm. You don't leave me. She was screaming now, full volume. I leave you. That's how this works. You don't get to decide when this ends. You don't get to have control, ever. You're mine. Everything you have is mine. And if you try to leave, I'll destroy you. I'll tell everyone you hit me. I'll show them the bruises I gave myself. I'll take the house, your job, your reputation. You'll have nothing. No one will believe you. I know, I said, holding up my phone, still recording. I know exactly what you do because it's what you've been planning, what you've been setting up. But here's the thing, Sarah. I'm not David. Her face drained, literally. She went pale as a sheet. What? I'm Marcus. David's twin, I said. And for the last 11 days I've been keeping track of everything you've done. Every hit, every threat, every little manipulation. I have it all. Audio, video, medical records, messages, bank statements showing exactly how you've been stealing from him. Everything. I didn't give her a chance to catch her breath. Tomorrow at Thanksgiving dinner, David, real David, will be there. You're going to sit at that table and act like everything's fine. After dinner, you're coming back here, packing your things and leaving. If you don't, all the evidence goes straight to the police. And your job. And your family. Everyone. She stared at me, really looked at me for the first time. Saw the difference. I wasn't broken like David. I wasn't scared or beaten down. Her mouth opened, then shut. Her eyes darted to the phone in my hand, the camera she never noticed. The pen in my pocket. The button on my shirt. She saw the truth, her own cruelty recorded and everywhere. You can't. She lunged for the phone. I stepped back. Recording without consent? New York's a one-party consent state. I'm a party. It's legal. And even if it wasn't, I've got enough evidence of assault that nobody's going to care about recording laws. You've been torturing your husband for 3 years. You put him in the hospital. You cut him off from everyone, stole from him, gaslit him. You did it because you thought no one would believe him. Because people don't think men can be victims. But now I have proof. Sarah dropped into a chair. All the fight left her in seconds. Not because she felt bad. I didn't see guilt, just calculation. She was spinning, searching for an angle, a way out. But there wasn't one. Not anymore. I saw her realizing it. She'd always been so careful, never hit him where it would show, always had an excuse ready, always controlled the story. But she never imagined David had a twin who'd take his place. Who'd take the hits to save him. What do you want? She finally asked. Divorce. No. Uncontested. You get your car. David keeps the house he's paid for. You cancel all the joint credit cards. Give back everything you took from the joint accounts. You sign paperwork, no contact, ever. And you get real therapy for whatever made you this way. And if I don't? Then I go to the police. You get arrested. You go to trial. You lose your job, your reputation, your freedom. With this much evidence? You'll do time. And everyone will finally see you for what you are. She went quiet. The sun was setting outside. Tomorrow was Thanksgiving. Tomorrow my brother would be at the table with his family. He'd finally sit and eat dinner without flinching at every raised voice, without checking his phone in secret, without fear. Tomorrow David would start to heal, because today I got him out. Fine. Her voice was flat, empty. Fine. I'll sign whatever. Just keep those recordings private. That's up to you. You leave him alone. No calls, no messages, nothing. Don't twist the story. Don't badmouth him. Just go and we keep this between us. But if you come near him again, if you even try, everything goes public. Got it? She nodded, stood up, walked to the bedroom. I heard drawers opening and closing. She came back with a suitcase all packed up, like she'd been expecting this. Maybe she always knew it would end like this. Maybe that's why she hurt him so badly that last night, some twisted urge to break him before he could slip away. At the door she stopped. Looked back at me, at the face she'd been hurting for 3 years, never realizing it wasn't David today. Tell David, tell him I'm sorry. No, I said. I'm not telling him that. You're not sorry. You're just sorry you finally got caught. That's not the same. You don't get forgiveness. You don't even get closure. You just get gone. She left. The door shut behind her. I stood there in that kitchen, the same place she'd thrown hot coffee at my head 20 minutes earlier. I let myself shake, felt the bruises, the sting in my ribs, the cut on my arm, the bone-deep exhaustion of pretending to be my brother for 11 days while someone tried to destroy me. But I did it. David was free. Really free. I called him. It's over. She's gone. Come home. Thanksgiving at Mom's house felt different that year. David and I showed up together, told her he'd been away on business. She believed it. All that mattered was she had both her sons at the table. Sarah texted that she was sick and couldn't make it. No one really missed her. Not really. People were always polite about her. But honestly, I don't think anyone ever liked her. Maybe they picked up on things I missed. Maybe they saw David shrinking, going quiet, fading into the background. All through Thanksgiving dinner, turkey and stuffing, David smiled. Like really smiled. Our cousin cracked a joke and David actually laughed. Loud, real laughter, and you could see the relief in Mom's eyes. Later, she pulled me aside, whispering, "What happened? David seems different. Lighter." I told her, he got rid of some dead weight. He's going to be okay. Over the next few weeks, Sarah signed the divorce papers without a fight, just like I told her to. She packed up, left the state, found a job somewhere else. David started going to therapy, real therapy, with someone who worked with men who survived domestic violence. That kind of trauma is different. It's got shame wrapped around it and people don't believe you. Men are supposed to be strong enough to just walk away, like it's ever that easy when someone spent years tearing you down piece by piece. I'd collected evidence but never put it out there. Didn't have to. Sarah left. David was free. That was enough. Still, he kept the files, just in case she ever tried to come back or rewrite the story. It was all there, locked away, the truth undeniable. He moved into a tiny apartment. Smaller than their old place, but it was his. He changed his phone number, closed their joint accounts, and started fixing the credit she trashed. It took time. Healing always does. But he healed. Slowly, the brother I remembered started coming back. The same guy who once jumped in front of a car to save me, who was brave and solid and whole. For 3 years he'd been buried. Not gone, just waiting. 6 months after it all ended, we grabbed coffee. David looked good. Healthier. The scars on his arms had faded. The ones in his head, those would take longer, but he was working on it. He held his mug without shaking, held my gaze. He said, "I never thanked you. For what you did. For taking my place, for going through that." I told him, "You'd have done the same." He shook his head. "Maybe once, but she broke me. Mark, when I showed up at your door, I couldn't have done what you did. I couldn't have stood up to her. I couldn't have survived those 2 weeks. You saved my life." I reminded him, "You saved mine when we were kids. I just returned the favor." He shook his head. "No. You did more than that. You gave me proof I wasn't crazy or weak or wrong. You showed me it was real. That I was really being hurt. As stupid as it sounds, I needed someone to witness it. To say, yes, this is abuse. You deserve better." I reached across the table, gripped his shoulder, like I did that morning he showed up at my place, bleeding. You always deserved better. He nodded. Yeah. I'm starting to believe that now. Eventually, David started dating again. Carefully. With boundaries, therapy, and a real sense of what a healthy relationship looks like. The first time he brought someone to a family dinner, a kind teacher named Jennifer, Mom cried happy tears. She'd always sensed something was off with Sarah. Mothers know even if they don't know how bad it really is. As for me, I went back to my careful life, consulting work, routines, the same old habits. But honestly, things felt different. I'd seen how fast safety can vanish. How someone you love can turn into someone you're scared of. Abuse isn't always obvious. It's not always bruises or screaming fights. Sometimes it's quiet, hidden behind closed doors, behind perfect smiles. I started being more cautious about who I let close, what I was willing to put up with, how to spot the signs. I also started volunteering at the men's shelter, the one David was too ashamed to call when things were really bad. I told my story. Well, his story, our story. About what happens when people don't believe men can be victims. About how abuse doesn't care about gender. About how asking for help isn't weakness. Every time I spoke, I saw men cry, nod, recognize themselves in David's story. Each time, I hoped maybe one guy would find the courage to leave, to document what was happening, to survive. It's been 3 years now. David's thriving. He got promoted at work, paid off all the debt Sarah left behind, and started a support group for men who've been through what he has. He talks about it all openly now. No shame. Uses his real name, tells his real story. He knows now, staying silent only protects abusers. Shame gives them power. Speaking up is the only way to heal. Sarah's in Colorado as far as we know. New job, new life. We don't follow her. We don't care. She's just a closed chapter, a nightmare that's over. David still has nightmares sometimes. He wakes up thinking he's back in that house. But Jennifer is there. She knows everything. And she stays. I hold him until he remembers he's safe now. He got out. He survived. Sometimes I think about those 11 days, what it was like to be my brother, living in fear. Imagine someone who swore they loved you, hurting you over and over. Feeling trapped, not just by money but by shame, by a system that looked at your pain and shrugged. I'll never forget Sarah's face when she realized I wasn't David. That moment, shock, fear, and then you could see her mind racing. She'd built her power on secrets, on being the only one who knew what was really going on. And in a second it was gone. I'd seen it. I had proof. She couldn't hide anymore. People ask if I regret it. Those 11 days, the broken rib, the bruises, the mind games, pretending to be someone else while being beaten down. Was it worth it? I tell them what I told David. He'd have done the same for me. We're twins. We shared everything, womb, birthday, face, childhood. Sharing his nightmare for 11 days so he could have a lifetime of freedom? That's just what brothers do. Especially when one of them pulled the other out of a pool when they were 6 and saved his life. Now David's actually thriving, not just getting by. He laughs for real, makes dumb jokes, talks about maybe having kids, dreams about a future. Stuff he couldn't even picture when Sarah had him convinced he was worthless, that he deserved the pain, that nobody else would want him. She tried to break the strongest person I knew. But she failed. Because he wasn't alone. Because when he couldn't fight, someone else picked up the fight for him. That's what I want people to know. Abuse grows in silence, in the dark, where people feel too scared or ashamed to ask for help. But when you shine a light on it, when you bring the truth out, it can't survive. David couldn't save himself. The system wasn't there for him. But I was. I stepped into his shoes, lived what he'd lived, and brought back proof. Sometimes saving someone means literally becoming them, carrying their weight until they can stand up again. Mom doesn't know the full story. She knows David and Sarah divorced, knows it was bad, but not how bad. Not about the years of violence, the burns, the broken bones, the things Sarah smashed over him. David wanted to spare her. He decided some truths are just too heavy for moms. I didn't agree at first. I thought she deserved the truth, but David was right. She'd only blame herself, wonder what she missed, what she could have done. But Sarah was too good at hiding. This isn't about what Mom missed. It's about who Sarah is. Jennifer knows everything though. David told her on their third date. He laid it all out. Said if she couldn't handle it, he'd understand. She cried. She asked questions. Then she told him about her own childhood, about the violence she'd seen. They understood each other in a way most people can't. Abuse isn't about gender. It's about power. About control. About turning a person into a target. The legal system never got involved. Sarah left quietly, signed the papers, disappeared. Part of me wishes she'd fought, that we'd gone to court, made her face what she did. But David wanted peace. He wanted it over. He wanted to move on without dragging it out in court, reliving it all. So we let her go. But she knew, if she ever came back, if she ever tried to hurt him again, everything would come out. Every recording, every photo, every piece of evidence. She'd lose everything. And she knew it. So she stayed gone. I kept one recording though. Just one. Day 11, when she threw the coffee pot, when I told her who I really was, when she tried to grab my phone and I told her I had it all documented. Sometimes I watch it. When I need to remember why I did it. When I wonder if the risk was worth it. I watch her face as it all sinks in. The power draining away. The secret exposed. And I remember, yeah, it was worth it. Every bruise, every threat, every second of fear. Because David's free now. Sarah can't hurt him anymore. He calls me his hero. He's wrong though. He's the hero. He survived 3 years of hell and still found the strength to ask for help, to fight for himself. I just showed up and did what needed to be done. The real courage was his. He showed up at my door at 2 a.m, face battered, finally admitting what was really going on. Letting me help him, trusting me enough to switch places with him, that's real courage. That's real strength. Everything after that, honestly, was just details. Now we meet for coffee every week. Sunday mornings, just the two of us talking about everything and nothing. Work, life, the future, dumb stuff from when we were kids. Sometimes we talk about Sarah. We wonder about the warning signs we missed, how she picked David because he was kind, because he always tried to see the good in people. His empathy made him an easy target. Abusers can sense that. They know who will put up with the unthinkable, who'll make excuses, who'll stay long after they should have left. David was the perfect victim. He made enough money to support her. He was isolated so no one noticed. And he cared so much he actually believed it was all his fault. Until he didn't. Until he had proof he wasn't crazy. Until someone else saw what was happening and said, "This is real. You deserve better." Those 11 days gave him more than just proof for the divorce. They gave him freedom from Sarah, sure, but also the certainty that his reality was real. He wasn't too sensitive or dramatic or weak. What happened to him was abuse, clear, documented, undeniable. That knowledge saved him. Once he knew it wasn't his fault, once he knew he wasn't losing his mind, he could start to heal. He could rebuild. He could believe he deserved something better than someone who hurt him and called it love. I still have the cameras, the pens, the buttons, the hidden recorders. I gave them to the men's shelter. They hand them out to victims who need proof, people trapped with abusers who never leave marks where anyone can see. Those cameras have helped dozens now. Men, women, anyone who needs to show that what's happening behind closed doors is real. That's David's legacy. The good that came from his nightmare. He took all that pain and turned it into something that helps others. Jennifer once asked me why I did it, why I risked so much for David, risked getting hurt, risked Sarah figuring it out before we got the evidence we needed. I told her the truth. When we were 6, David saved my life. He pushed me out of the way of a car, broke his arm doing it, spent the whole summer in a cast. When I cried and said I was sorry, he just said, "That's what brothers do." So when I had the chance to return the favor, to pull him out of something that was destroying him, to take the hit so he could survive, there was never any question. That's what brothers do. We protect each other. We save each other. We step in for each other if that's what it takes to survive. 3 years later, David's the happiest I've ever seen him. Not just happy like before Sarah, but happy because he finally knows who he is, what he deserves, what real love looks like. Jennifer is good for him. She builds him up instead of tearing him down. She celebrates his wins, respects his boundaries. And when he wakes up from nightmares about the house, Sarah, being trapped, she doesn't tell him to get over it. She holds him, reminds him he's safe, tells him he's strong for surviving. That's real love, the kind that heals instead of hurts. As for me, I'm careful now. More cautious about who I trust, what I tolerate, how I spot abuse. I date, but nothing serious. Those 11 days changed me. Made me see how fragile safety is, how someone can seem perfect and still be poison, how love can turn dangerous. I'm not broken, just aware. I know now that the person across the table might be someone who hurts people when no one's watching. Someone who smiles in public and destroys in private. Sometimes that makes me lonely, but honestly it keeps me safe. David says I saved his life. I think we saved each other. He gave me purpose, a way to use my face, our shared DNA, for something that mattered. A way to help someone who desperately needed it. And I gave him proof he wasn't crazy or weak or wrong. That Sarah was the monster, not him. That mutual saving, that exchange, it changed us both. Made us closer. Made us braver. Taught us that family isn't just blood or DNA. It's about showing up, about stepping into someone else's nightmare to pull them out. About saying, I see you. I believe you. I'll help you survive. Thanks for walking through this with me. Before you go, I've left 2 more stories for you to read. Sometimes, surviving means letting someone else step in while you get your strength back. Pick the story that speaks to you. If you want to join a group that gets what it's like to be doubted, hit that notification bell. It's your open door. One last thing, asking for help doesn't make you weak. Honestly, it's one of the bravest moves you can make. And sometimes the person who saves you is just you, the part of you that's still standing ready to fight.